Now, without further ado, I want to open with Mr. Las Rogers from CSF International and a parent of a child with CSF. CFC, I said CFC.
CFC, yeah. So thank you, Tamar. My name is Les Rogers. I'm the parent of Gloria, super cute kiddo right there. She's 11 and she experiences a MEC1 mutation. I was asked to talk about some specific challenges she has related to neurological and developmental issues. And so Gloria's diagnosis journey started, really early on. We knew pretty much right away at birth, although she was full term. We always get asked that by doctors. Was she full term? Yes, she was. But she had lots of issues. She was on the Panda machine for quite some time when she was little, breathing issues, heart defects. Um, and about 4 months old, she developed nystagmus. And that the first time we saw it, we took her to the hospital and we found out that she was having focal seizures in her occipital lobe. And that then progressed. We won't go through all the drama of that, although Tamar got the footnote version of it just now. But if you'd like to read the whole thing, her website's there, or you can Google Gloria Rogers story, and you'll see a huge web page with all kinds of stuff about our advocacy journey, and the diagnosis journey is really a good one. So anyways, we were air ambulanced from Oakland, California to Dornbecker. They repeated the EEG and they saw the hips arrhythmia, which is indicative of infantile spasms. And then that led to the next part of the journey, trying to get the medications in the US for ACTH. Those who work in neurology know what happened to the price of ACTH. It was a barrier. They started on prednisone, then went to ACTH eventually, and then finally vigabatrin. We got some traction with ACTH, but the spasms came back after about a week and a half, and we went to vigabatrin, and that's what finally stopped the infantile spasms or West syndrome for her. The challenges for her, she had a lot of loss of function during infantile spasms. That's when she stopped being able to eat by mouth. She really struggled. She had, after the seizures, some additional brain damage that was seen at MRI and led to some of the other challenges she has. She can stand with support but can't walk. Um, our wish for the future is to, at least from like the infantile spasm side of the community that we're part of, is that access to ACTH and all the infantile spasms drugs is better in the United States. That'd be great. Also, I would love for more states to have what Oregon has in terms of Medicaid waivers with no wait lists in Oregon. Yay. And we have a thing called the 1915K waiver, which is super helpful and provided nice night nursing for Gloria and other supports. It's changed our lives so much. Um, Gloria struggled, and we just finished the GI stuff, but she was struggled with vomiting. She retched about like 100+ times a day. It was really rough. We had a suction machine. She would vomit up, okay, TMI, but like 2 cups of mucus at a time, and so we had to have suction to clear her. So it was a really rough go of it. Um, and we talked a little bit about the importance of seizure studies. So shout out to Rini, Dr. Kenny Jung. I know there's so many people on that CFC seizure papers, but please check those out if you haven't. I've been chatting you up, Rini, and all the work you all did. That's a great paper. Um, Lessons learned, I would say Gloria's experience was not unique, especially in the infantile spasms community. Getting ACTH is still challenging. And that's a whole side story. If you want a long story of challenges in pharmaceutical acquisition in the US, you could talk to me about that. And need for research. Again, shout out to the seizure research that's already happened. And that tends to be at least in CFC syndrome, the thing that has a lot of consequences, but also cardiologic issues. Heart issues is another thing that CFC syndrome struggles with, not so much Gloria. Um, but we're really grateful for that work. So anything else I want to add? I think that's about it. Developmentally, Gloria is in a general education classroom about half the time, which some people are surprised by that. She learned how to talk at about 5. That's when her words exploded. She lucked out. She won the mom lottery. Her mom is a speech language pathologist. So although my wife's major focus is dysphagia, and she did a lot of geriatric, but now she does pediatrics, and works with individuals that experience disabilities in our community. But Gloria still doesn't eat by mouth, so the one kid she can't get to eat by mouth is her own. But she works really hard at it. Um, yeah, and so I just think that to summarize this whole thing, I hope you get a chance to check out our website. Gloria Rogers' story, another shout out to that. Diagnosis journey is really awesome. For those who are interested in the infantile spasms videos, because her presentation was a little unique and the doctors asked us to put it on YouTube. So I did. It's out there if you want to see what her spasms looked like. And there's 2 versions, one where she was on Keppra, which wasn't working for her, and then one a little later on when she was on prednisolone. So, all right. I just thought I'd give that because some of the doctors were wondering about seeing those videos. So there's that. And if that's it, I will hand it back to Tamar and hopefully get us back on time.
Any questions for Les? Any questions?
There's one question over here for Beck.
Just wondering for the general CFC community and RASopathies too, how prevalent is seizure and infantile spasm, if you know, in the community?
We have the experts in the room. I mean, I don't know if Rini wants to take this one, but I mean, I think in our community we saw it happening, and that was the impetus for sort of the expansion of that additional paper on West infantile spasms and CFC. Rini, do you want to add anything? Like what percentage to help people out?
So seizures in general is somewhere around 50 to 60%, although as we study individuals into adulthood, we're seeing a higher prevalence because we are seeing some seizures starting in adolescence and adulthood in some patients. And infantile spasms are generally only seen in those with BRAF and MEK1 or MAP2K1 variants, at least as far as we've seen in the literature. And in fact, very specific variants seem to be at highest risk, so particular domains. And so I think that would be really great if some basic scientists in the room want to help us understand what could be going on in brain development differently for patients with variants in the kind of high risk domains. And I also want to just shout out to Les, who's his feedback on our study, on our original survey, enabled us to do that infantile spasms kind of sub-study along with collaborators in Italy. And I think listening to parents' voices and asking their feedback before you start your study, in fact, may drastically impact what kinds of questions you can answer after it's done. So thanks, Les.
Thanks.
One more.
Thank you very much. I was interested in what you said about her oral feeding going off after the period of seizures. And that's something that I see a lot in CFC of even when kids get back onto oral feeding, another disease or illness will knock them completely off and they'll go back off oral feeding. I just wondered whether she'd ever got back on and swung off, got back on and swung off, or whether this was just a never since then pattern.
I'll try to make it quick. We went through 13 formulas. We landed on Similac Alimentum, which is an elemental formula, as you're probably aware. So she was able to suck down a bottle. She threw it up, but she could suck down a bottle from like birth on until the 4-month mark. She was able to eat through the seizures. It's when the infantile spasms were uncontrolled and we couldn't get the ACTH for like a week, and she just pretty much seized that whole week because of the price gouging in the United States. But anyway, we couldn't get that medication, and that week is when she lost the ability to eat, never got it back. And she still hasn't. She still tastes food. She does have a swallow, so she doesn't drool constantly. So she does have a pretty consistent swallow. She'll lick things and take a teeny bit of water and like a teeny bit of tea right now safely. But that's about it. Like her swallow's safe. She's had a bunch of swallow studies, but she just the aversion, she won't do more than that. So unfortunately, didn't swing back and forth. I wish we had a little more success. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And kind of like to echo to everyone the difficulties you mentioned in getting the medications. It's like just okay.